Time to pull this thing apart again so I can send a bunch of things off to get powder coated so we can get this project started. That's the finalized powder coating pile.
Back in the pile, everyone!
Something I might add at a later date, or I might get done at a later date, is the rims. I'm not sure if I'm going to upgrade to some heavier duty rims just for that extra insurance off-road, or if I'm just going to stick with these ones. These are DID, so they are a good brand, but they're on a stock bike, so there's always room for improvement. What I'm going to do is make an engine stand for this thing, because right now it's just wobbling around on the workbench and it's real unstable and it's kind of hard to work on. So I'm going to use some 25 by 25 1.6 steel and try and fabricate up a little engine stand for this thing. Not the prettiest thing ever, but it only cost me 20 bucks and it's going to make working on this engine a whole lot easier.
2 weeks later.
All the stuff's back from the powder coaters. Look how good this stuff came out. They really did an amazing job down there. All the engine mounts and foot peg mounts and stuff down there, and obviously got the spring painted red because I thought that would look cool. But yeah, I went with this satin black finish and I think it just came up amazing. I'm really excited to see how this bike turns out now. Let's see if I can get the emblem out of this triple clamp and put it in this one without breaking it. These things are pretty fragile, but hopefully the glue is not too strong and I can get it out. Somehow I managed to get it in there without breaking it. I've got a bunch of things coming in the mail. I've got the tool for the forks here. I actually forgot to order the tool for the lower half because I'm an idiot. But I've also got the rebuild kit. All the bearings came. So the bearings for the swing arm, the linkage, and the head tube. The original plan was to get this stuff anodized red. I've since spoken to the anodizers and they don't recommend trying because they can't guarantee the quality of the aluminium because it's cast. So I'm not going to bother. I'm just going to send the lower linkage off to get powder coated black, the same color as the frame. I'm probably going to go with an aftermarket wheel set now at this point anyway, just because I want that extra insurance off-road. So that's all the excuse I needed that I couldn't get those anodized. I'll send these Force radiator guards that I picked up cheap to get powder coated as well, because obviously they're orange and the theme is black. And I've also changed my mind. I don't think I'm going to go with any red anodized parts. I think I'm just going to go with majority black, and I think I'm going to go gold hubs. I'm going to go gold hubs because they match the gold fork legs. I did a lot of boring stuff off camera, like cleaning, like I scrubbed the airbox. Came out really nice. This thing took, I'm gonna say hours to clean, but that's all back together, and obviously I just put it back in the subframe. It's not that interesting. Put the spring back on the shock. Triple clamps, obviously put all the bolts back in, and the emblem and the bar risers and all that. Swing arm, I did all the rear brake line guides, the slider, the guide, and the frame, not too much. I just put some of the rubbers back on. These rubbers are just kind of sitting here temporarily. I haven't got zip ties on them yet because I'm getting an oversized tank, so I'm not sure where they're going to want to be. Once I get that, just not a lot on the frame, but just done a lot of boring stuff off camera because it takes time and it's fiddly and it's not really that interesting to watch. So for now, I'll assemble what I can of the frame. So I should be able to put the rear subframe on and possibly the swing arm. I obviously can't do the linkage, and I should be able to put the triple clamps back in. I don't have the proper tool to install this bearing onto this triple clamp here, but I mean, who does? So I'm going to use this rusty bit of pipe.
It's an inanimate carbon rod!
It's the perfect size. Slide over this, sit on the bearing race, and I should be able to just knock that down. I haven't mentioned is that every single thread on any part that's painted obviously has paint in it. So I've been having to go through and, you know, chase all the threads. Not too big of a deal, but it's something to keep in mind if you were thinking of doing something similar like this. I've got the swing arm back in, the rear subframe. I know both of these things are gonna have to come off anyway, because obviously that swing arm bolt goes through the engine. I have to get the rear subframe off to put the air boot in, and it's nice to just bolt it up, see what's finished, see what isn't. Right now I'm just gonna go and put the steering dampener on, because I'm pretty sure I won't have to take that back off.
Three days later.
So I got my lower linkage back from the powder coaters, as well as the radiator guards and this airbox mount slash petrol tank tie down, I guess you could call it. So I'm going to throw the bearings back in that now and continue on, because then I can put the lower linkage back in the frame, and that means the rear shock can go back in the frame. The new bearings are back in the swing arm linkages, so I can put it back in the frame now and chuck the rear shock back in. The lower linkage is all back in, and the rear shock's back in as well temporarily until I have to put the motor back in.